So you walked into 10 different gyms to do a gym visit. What was the first thing you noticed in the best gyms that you walked into?
Somebody greeted me right away. They knew I was coming. They laid out expectations, like, here's what's going to happen, here's where you can put your stuff. And it was welcoming.
So just catering to the experience, being prepared. Mm-hmm. So let's give some context. We're here with Mary Brown, one of our coaches at Gage. How long have you been with us?
Almost 3 years now.
3 years now?
Mm-hmm.
We set out we gave an initiative to the whole company. And we said, if you go to 10 gym visits and you fill out a report on your experience, what you learned, what your takeaways were, we would give a cash bonus. You were the first person to finish. So why don't you introduce yourself and give a little bit of background into you, and then we'll get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of what you experienced.
I thought you were giving the background.
Okay, well, I'll give you the background on Mary. So Mary's been with us for about 3 years. You came in with a really cool background. You were a certified athletic trainer. Is that what it's called? Certified?
Yeah.
Came from an athletic training background. You wanted to get out of that industry, get into fitness. This was your first training job.
Oh, yeah.
First training job. Moved here from out of state.
Mm-hmm.
So corporate experience, a whole new world coming to no, you were with a smaller business before.
Yeah.
But you've done a phenomenal job, not just talking you up because you're on the podcast, but seriously, I think your experience, what you brought to the coaching team has been really invaluable. So this is just one example of this initiative, going out of your way to do this. This wasn't something, there was a cash reward. This said more to do about who you are as a coach and a person and your desire to operate and be the best than it did trying to make a couple extra bucks, which I know you didn't not like anyway.
Yeah.
So you ready to get into it?
Heck yeah.
All right, cool. Anything you want to say to introduce yourself?
No, I feel like that covered it.
All right, cool. All right, so why don't you read off the gyms that you did attend during your gym visit? This isn't a secret. You didn't go undercover.
Yeah.
Part of this was like booking this out and all that.
So Engage Collegeville.
Cool.
Orange Theory, Burn Boot Camp, Amped Fitness, Strong Moms, let me remember, Pratt Personal Training, Varsity House, GFP, and Driven.
Cool. So shout out all those gyms. I'll probably tag in the episode so you guys can hear some of the takeaways, because I think every coach, every gym owner, this is the reason I put this together was because I've done this myself. The takeaways that I've had from just going to other gyms and seeing it from the customer perspective is really impactful. And none of this was like a coaching thing. We didn't go under as like a consulting thing. It was just see things from the customer's eyes. I think sometimes when people go to these gyms and do this, if you're a gym owner or if you're a coach, it's very easy to go in and just be like shooting the shit with the other coaches, or go in with just this like chip on your shoulder of like, oh yeah, we do that too. If you go in the eyes of the customer, it is a whole different world. Did you have that experience?
Yeah, some gyms definitely didn't know my background, and it was absolutely eye-opening to just be a regular person. I wasn't a coach or anything, and those were some of my favorite gym visits, actually.
All right, cool. Well, I have a few questions on like the different topics and areas of, what we looked for in these gym visits. The first one was, you touched on it before, first impressions and what I call the user experience. Mm-hmm. So what gym stuck out to you about how easy it was to contact, find, get in touch with the director there, book yourself for a visit? What were the best gyms when it came to that?
Honestly, the easiest were Burn Boot Camp and Orange Theory.
Okay. So big franchises, that's probably something that they really focus on in that like franchise world. So that's really good for some of the smaller gyms to know, like this is what the big franchises prioritize, is like ease of use.
Yep. Didn't have to talk to anybody. I could easily just go online. I did one of them like day of.
Yeah.
Just decided I was going to go at noon, and it was perfect. They were still ready for me, everything.
What type of software did they use to do that?
It was all through their website. I just clicked a link, and it was as easy as that. You fill the waiver, and that's it.
All right, cool. So that's user experience-wise. In terms of like first impressions, like you walk in, what's the vibe of the best gyms that you got?
Most of them I wasn't the first person there. So people were already like talking to each other, and they knew they were talking with the coach, they were talking with other members, they were excited and happy to be there. So it was like an energetic vibe, I guess you could say. which was way different than some of the other ones I went to.
Yeah. So the best gyms that you felt like you could feel the energy in there, there was kind of a buzz in there. Is there anything that like, so if we go to like what takeaways or what things you could apply for a listener or even yourself, how do you capture that energy? Like, what is it? Hey guys, just real quick pause. If you're enjoying this, please hit subscribe, like, comment, share this with any fitness professionals that you feel like would benefit from content like this. Let's get back to the episode.
I think that's really tough to say because it's all the members. It's the community feel that I think has been created through the coaches and the gym itself, where it is a fun place. Like nothing's too serious. We are here to... I mean, nobody's really there necessarily. They don't think to make friends,
right.
But a good gym, people are making friends.
Was there anything about so what we do with Engage, obviously we're trying to scale that because I think Gage has great vibes. And it's like, what is it? Like, what is it? The level of the music? Is it the type of music? Is it the front desk area? Was there anything that they all had in common? Was it like the music was going, or was it there was an area to congregate when you walked in? You know, was there anything similar, or was it just they had different energies, but they all had that thing?
I think it was the coach and front desk. Some of my favorite gyms did have a front desk, which I really appreciated, like somebody greeting you right away. And then the energy of the coach in the front desk. You could tell the coaches that truly wanted to be there, were excited to have you there, they were ready. And then you could tell the gyms that were just kind of like, I'm tired. Should have had another cup of coffee.
So... it had more to do, in your opinion, with the presence of the coach and the human element?
Yes.
So a good takeaway, like what would you recommend for gyms that want to nail that first impression, if you could summarize it?
I really think it's being prepared, like knowing you have a new person coming, already knowing their name, a little bit about them, and just being excited and confident when they walk through the door, making sure that they know what to expect, what's going on. I mean, I have been in so many different gyms, and I was nervous walking into some of these places. I don't know how the workout's going to go. I don't know anybody next to me. So it's so comforting having somebody greeting you right away.
That's a really important point because, again, we're big, tough fitness people. I'll never forget there was a big gym that opened when my first training job at a Gold's Gym, and all the buzz was about this gym. It was opened by this massive bodybuilder. You would know the name. And I'll just say it was Warhouse Gym. They're out of business now.
Okay.
Warhouse Gym. And all these people were like, how is Gold's going to, how are they going to survive? Everyone's going to go to Warhouse. And I was like, I don't even want to go to Warhouse. That place looks terrifying.
Yeah.
There's guys in fucking spaghetti tanks, shooting up steroids in the locker room. That place looks scary to me. And I'm a trainer. So you can't or overemphasize how nervous people are coming to a gym. These are regular people, not trainers.
Yeah.
So I agree, that first impression, having somebody there to nurture them as they come in. Now, the worst gyms. Now, we don't want to, I've instructed Mary, talked to Mary. We want to call out some of the gyms and highlight some of the great things that we saw. A lot of them are friends of ours. But we also don't want to disparage anybody. So we're not going to name names, or we're going to keep the negatives very vague and, kind of overall themes. But what did you see from the gyms that you really didn't like, where you feel like really missed that first impression or dropped on the user experience?
Honestly, it's the complete opposite. Two gyms specifically were just not prepared for me, despite me prepping ahead of time, and I filled out the intake paperwork, whatever it was. One I had to reschedule. My son was sick, so I rescheduled. Super common thing. And it was confirmed, and then nobody was expecting me, and you had to arrive early. It was 30 minutes early for an hour workout, so I was there for 90 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And then they weren't expecting me, and it just felt like, oh, should I leave?
The 30 minutes early, was that typical for...
That was the only one that was 30 minutes early, and they were very harsh about it.
Huh, interesting. That's part of their sales process?
To explain how the workout goes and everything, which, like I said, I appreciate, but most of us don't have time for a 90-visit gym experience.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that from somebody that's joining a gym for the first time. It's hard enough for a busy mom or dad or whoever to join a gym and then again, I get it to an extent if you have a sales process and it's a higher ticket thing, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Interesting. So user experience wise, was there anything notable about like how hard it was to even find the gym's contact information or book something? Did any gyms like really miss the mark? Obviously, if you can give vague or generalizations.
No, I mean, I would say about half I went in with them not really knowing who I was, tried to book on their website, maybe even a little less than half. The rest were or are friends of Gage. So it was super easy to contact people that I already knew to set up the gym visit. So I really only had the outside experience for, I would say, maybe 4 of the gyms.
Okay. All right, cool. So that's first impressions and experience to overall make the booking process seamless, try to be as welcoming and good vibes and energy as possible. Next, let's talk coaching. So session experience, the experience of the coach. What did the best gyms do when it came to coaching and that in-session experience?
They had an individualized conversation with me and made sure that the workout was scaled to what I was looking for that day. So there's 2 specifically that stood out. And the coaches like actually coached me.
Yeah.
So one gym I had hex bar deadlifted, which I don't do. And my form was a little off. And the coach like jumped right in. He knew I was another coach, and he jumped right in, gave me a cue, and felt
That is
1,000
not
times
common,
better.
by the way. You want to shout them out?
Yes, that was Gage Strength.
Gage Strength.
Yeah.
Shout out Giancarlo and his team.
Yeah.
That's not common. Like the amount of times, and this is kind of what I was getting at in the beginning, like the amount of times that I've done a session at Gage, I've done a workout at some gyms, they know I'm a gym. It's like the coaches just be like, hey, like, how about this? Like, see what I did there? Like, they turn it just like, let's shoot the shit, let's talk coaching, and they don't treat you like a client at all, and that's not great. So I think you appreciated that. Sounds
Absolutely.
like.
Yeah. The other really good one was Engage Collegeville.
Yeah.
Joe, I mean,
Joe Knie, shout out.
that's definitely the best I've been coached in a while.
Yeah, Joe is a special coach. He's really good. What did, not only you, but was there anything that you noticed that the coaches in the best gyms did for the room or for other people that you noticed?
I think just made it to everybody. There was some of like the bigger gyms I went to still worked the room and were saying good job or encouraging. I think that was one of the biggest things that stood out. Like, did they get to everybody, or were they just hanging out in one little area?
Yeah. What kind of, you go through that experience as from the client's perspective. Obviously, you do this every single day for your own coaching. What mental notes did you take? And what is something that like any coaches that are listening can do so that if somebody were to do a gym visit for them, they would pass that test? Is there like a system or just a mental checklist that they could go through?
I think you just have to mentally hype yourself up. There was one gym visit where I felt like you could tell just the person didn't necessarily want to be there.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really the vibes at most of the others. Like they brought the energy. And I think it's just a good reminder that we're never totally on it for every class. You just can't be, but it's important to get as close as possible.
Yeah. What advice would you have for that? Because you turn it on. I think you have a great presence in your sessions. Takes one to know one, I guess you could say. Like, you notice that.
Yeah.
What advice would you give coaches? I really want to, this episode is primarily for coaches, I think. I would like coaches to have some takeaways from this. If you were to speak to a young coach or somebody that's maybe new to the industry, what advice would you give them about being locked in for every single session?
For me, it's feeding off the members. I mean, they're my people.
Yeah.
I get so excited to see them usually say everybody's name in some weird way, shout them out as soon as they walk in the room.
Nicknames and yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have announcements at the gym usually. Right now, we don't have really any going on, so I was telling jokes off of my go-go squeeze that was in my backpack. I don't know. I have fun with it.
Yeah. Go-Go Squeeze is an applesauce packet that Mary likes to carry around with her.
It's good carbs.
Yeah.
Some good fruit.
So get your Go-Go Squeeze, bring it every single session. If I can like provide something like, I can't speak highly enough about just having like a mental reset every session, like some kind of mantra or some kind of like just bringing yourself down. Because if you just let session by session like bleed into the next, you lose. So one of the things I'm going to talk about is a heads up in the next town hall is one of the things I learned at Tony Robbins' event is like the definition of fun is fully utilizing now. And it's like the best advice I can give is like have fun at work. Just fully utilize now, the moment, the session, the interaction with the client. Don't be thinking too much about the next thing or what's going on outside of here. Like I really think that encapsulates a lot of it is like be present, be there for the members, serve the person in front of you. It sounds like that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
So talk about the bad side. What were the coaching experiences that you found to be negative? Or what were the trends of those negative coaching experiences?
Not coaching.
So we talk about this a lot. The difference between what coaching is versus like what is training or running a session versus coaching. So when you say not coaching, what does that mean?
Somebody who's going to be like, here are the exercises. This is how we're going to do it. Now go do it. And then maybe mingle throughout the session.
Mingling.
Yeah. There was a few ones that I saw, though. It wasn't like, how's that weight feel? How many more reps do you feel like you could do? That kind of looked light. Or even necessarily checking in, like, where do you feel this? It was really just hanging out.
And I think that probably, back to the previous point, like that's probably somebody that's not present.
Yes.
And they're not fully utilizing now. And maybe they're bleeding sessions together or they're just watching the clock. Was there any trends about, I'm trying to think how to say this without being disparaging, but was there anything about like, were they part-time, were they full-time, or was it just like some people just, maybe they're in the wrong job?
No, honestly, it's so hard to tell because it's not like I asked
Right.
too many of those questions. And I really don't think that had to do with it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that we all have bad days, and sometimes we carry it into our sessions, and we forget that for our members, they get one session.
Yeah.
We might be doing it 5, 6 times, whatever, but they have one session.
Yeah. Was there a way to tell if it was like, I really think that they had a bad day, or like that seems like that's how they always are?
I mean, I hope that's not how somebody always is,
Yeah.
honestly. I think that it is like, man, it's early in the morning, and I don't necessarily want to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is. That's kind of the vibe I got.
Yeah.
And truthfully, that was not many of the places.
Yeah. All right, cool. So takeaways, what did you learn from the coaching and session experience that you put in your pocket and took away with you? And what would you recommend for anybody listening, like to reemphasize?
So we already talked so much about like the welcoming intro, like confident, what's up, like I already know your name. It's kind of like almost like you already know them.
Right.
Acting like you're already friends. I think starting with that, being truly coached throughout the session, like understanding like what do you want out of today? I know the workout. So at Gage Collegeville, Joe was like, this is the workout. Does that fit into like how your workouts are going this week? And it didn't. So he switched it up for me, and I just did slightly different. Still looked similar to everybody else. And at why do I always forget their name? Gage Strength.
Gage Strength.
At Gage Strength, it was same deal. Like getting a better idea. What were my goals? Where was I at? They knew that I was just there for one session, but they made sure that it was still a good workout. So coaching all throughout. And then the places that didn't know who I was, they all actually like tried to like very softly close me, and they were really timid around it. And the follow-ups were awful. Like,
Talk about it.
They were super generic. Most of them were automated. I felt like they didn't care. There was one that like had like I would call it like a soft close, but did seem like they wanted me to join. They took time to like walk me around, explain things further. And it was really nice. Like I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And then I never got a follow-up like phone call or anything after. I got some automated messages that automatically went to like my spam. And that was it. It's like,
Yeah.
we don't really care if you join or not. That's how it felt.
It really is amazing. And I'll be honest, like as hard as it's been for some of our gyms to grow, like we have full-time people that their whole job is to follow up with trials and leads. And like, it's hard enough getting people to join these gyms. To not have a follow-up is very telling about why some gyms might struggle and why some gyms might do really well. Let me ask you this, because this wasn't a secret shopper. Like, it's not like you went in and like were purposely pretending to not be a trainer or pretending to spy on them for the most part.
I wasn't trying to spy.
Yeah.
By any means. I really was just trying to go in as a normal person, get in a good workout for the day. But some of them absolutely had no idea that I was a coach or had that background.
So you mentioned the follow-up. Was there a good or a bad like confirmation process? Like if you booked something a week out, was there a phone call from the trainer, a director?
Nothing.
None of them?
No. Like I said, the one I booked day of.
Yeah.
The one I did have to reschedule, and then they weren't prepared for me that day, even though it was confirmed.
Yeah.
But nobody ever like called me in advance to learn more or dive in a little bit deeper about why I was choosing to go there.
Now,
or what I
would
was
that have
looking
been
for.
something that really impressed you?
Maybe. To be honest, I didn't have a home gym at the time
Yeah.
for myself. So I was open to maybe getting some type of gym membership from a few of these places.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean that's a pretty impactful comment.
Yeah.
Interesting. Team and member culture and standards. So that's kind of another category. Like, I think it plays into like the energy and the vibe of
Absolutely.
the whole thing. But how did the best gym's culture show through just from your experience there?
I'm going to shout out Pratt on this one, Pratt Personal Training. I think they do an incredible job. It was my second time there, actually. I went probably about 2 years ago now. All of them are wearing the exact same thing. It's very obvious to see who the coaches are. Everybody is constantly engaged. I've never seen anybody on their phone or like the music is like just controlled by I don't even know who. It's never touched. Everybody is locked into their session. They're all joking, high fives. Like you would think that they all go to the bar together after work. Like they're all just having so much fun, act like they're friends. They have got locked in policies and procedures that every coach knows. Everybody seems like they're on the same page, at least from my 4 hours I've probably spent there.
Yeah. We talk about the word team a lot. Like people use the word team, but I think when you really think about what a good team is like they wear the uniform. Like I played high school sports. I think you played high school sports. It was like game days. Like we had to wear a suit and tie to school, or we had to wear our uniform. Like I played baseball, so like we had to wear our uniform or our baseball jersey to school that day. Like there were standards and expectations for professionalism that it's like you don't have to look much further than like how do really good teams show up together, and it's like that's kind of it, you know. So it sounds like Pratt does a really good job at that.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned something that it's escaping me now. Oh, the processes and procedures. You said the coaches have very standard processes that you can see that they follow. Now I know you've been behind the scenes because you've done this before, but what showed up that was obvious to you that spoke to their professionalism?
Honestly, nothing that I was seeing from the outside. I'm not going to lie. It was mostly all from conversations on the back end with their GM. I've also seen them run a coaches meeting. So kind of know that side of things. And like they all are just held to a specific standard. They intern there before they're actually working there. They have to pass tests. They all have to explain exercises the same, which I think is not necessarily the same. They can use different cueing and stuff, but they all coach each exercise that they have the same. Yeah. There's no like necessarily like one-offs or anything.
Yeah, there's not one coach that's like, oh, well, I'm certified in whatever, so I use this methodology.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, it's important. It's like, what's more important than having one exceptional coach is having a team of good coaches that are consistent. So
Absolutely.
that every time you show up, you're getting the same product.
Yeah.
What was the feeling of a gym that was void of culture or standards?
Blah. That's like the best way to, it was just meh. Like I think I got a half decent workout in that day. I liked the structure of the workout, but it just felt like there was.
So you feel like it affected your actual workout?
Yes. Oh, 100%. I just worked out at Gage and hit a PR. Like because everybody around was hyped. There was other people cheering for other people's like lifts. And this was just, everybody was just kind of like, I'm just going to go from this station to this station.
275 deadlift PR. Shout out.
Thank you.
So just blah. Is there anything to save that? Like, what do you think if you were the consultant to go in, if you were the undercover boss, like, is there anything that you would be like, this got to get shaken up and fixed?
It all goes back to the coach having fun. I think we set the tone.
That's a good point. Anything else on the standards and the culture coming through in the gyms? Or sorry, before we get to that, what were the things that, again, you put in your pocket, you added to your tool belt that you felt like you took away or would be really like the check marks to share, coach being there, having fun, being present? But
yeah, I think just always remembering that feeling of being somebody to walk in the gym and be nervous. Like just keeping that in the back of my head when I have a trial or even somebody it's maybe their first, second week at Gage, just remembering that feeling of kind of like you don't belong. Like, should I be here? And a little uncomfortable and making sure that they leave their session the complete opposite.
All right, cool. So biggest takeaways, your whole experience. If you could wrap all of this up into a few comments, what if gyms wanted to listen to this or coaches wanted to listen to this and be at the top of Mary's list, what are the things that they could take away from this?
I feel like I sound like a broken record, but have fun with it. Make sure that you're individualizing each session to each person. Somehow, some little key touch point that you're able to make sure that the person walks away with the workout that they needed that day. Because it changes. Some days you might want to hit a PR, and some days you really just need to move the weight a little bit and get out the door and get on to your next thing.
Yeah.
And we just have to meet everybody where they're at on the individual day. And then for trials, be confident. Even if you're not the person that actually has to close them, like confidence at the end of that and already speaking like you belong here. We want you here. All
right, cool. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
This is great. So I think there's a lot to take away there from our perspective. Again, I think, is it safe to say you learned a lot through this process and it was helpful for your career?
Much more than I thought, actually.
Yeah. So anybody listening, I think it went well. My hope was that more people do this. The offer is still there for anybody to go and do this. And I think we're in this job, guys. Like, this is our livelihood. This is our career. We might as well try to work at being the best. And a big part of that is witnessing other great gyms in action and some gyms that aren't so great and seeing what they're not doing well or what we could do better. So thank you, Mary. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this content, make sure that you like and subscribe to get more of the content that you want to see about growing your fitness business. You can click any of the videos here to see other episodes, but I want to hear from you. So drop some comments into other content that you would like to see.